While what I'm going to show you today will make every aspect of your life better if you will do it. We're going to talk about 6 areas that pretty much cover all the other areas. And I really believe if there were only one thing to focus on to make your life better, this is it. And so today I'm going to talk to you about 3 simple solutions that stop struggle and help you succeed in every area of your life. How would you like to jumpstart your 2026 success starting today in every area? Yes or yes? Yes. Okay, here we go. There are 3 principles we have to understand. And in fact, I'm going to write them on the board. So there's 3 principles. There are 3 principles we're going to have to understand, okay? And they're scientific principles. And y'all know how I get geeked out on science, even though I'm not a scientist. You can tell that clearly I wish I was one. Okay, so the first principle is the principle of inertia. And inertia basically states that an object at rest will remain at rest unless it's acted upon by an outside force. So in other words, nothing moves until something moves it. Everybody got it? Nothing moves until something moves it. And if you're in inertia, like the object is not going to move itself. Okay, so that's number 1. Now, the second principle that we have to understand is the law of energy. And energy, the thing we have to understand about energy is neither created nor destroyed, it just changes form. So, if I am going to make my life better, if you're going to make your life better, then you're going to have to become hyper intentional about what you're turning your energy into, because you're always turning your energy into something. And by energy, I mean just life force, like being alive. You're turning, like every day, you're turning your life into something. And if you want to know, like, what have I turned my life into so far? Well, just look at your life. Like, you've turned part of your life into your car. You've turned part of your life into your house. You've turned part of your life into your bank account. You've turned part of your life into your wardrobe. You've turned part of your life into your relationships. You're always turning your life into other things. The energy of your life is transforming into the energy of your outcomes. Does that make sense? Yes? Yes. Okay, so energy. And when it comes to energy, the thing that we have to use is we have to hyper-focus on intention. So we have to use our intention to direct our energy in a way that will produce a predetermined outcome. And so the last thing that we're going to talk about is this. And I say the last, these are like, a person can win with these three principles, if they understand these 3 principles. And I'll show you what I mean in a minute. So the third one is entropy. Now, what is entropy? Entropy is basically anything left to itself tends to move more and more towards disorder. Okay, so how does understanding these principles help us to become more successful? Well, when it comes to inertia, I could be the object at rest. What do I mean by that? If you feel like in your life you are stuck, and 2025 pretty much looked like 2024, I only got a year older, then maybe you haven't allowed yourself as the object to be impacted by enough outside forces. See, every time I read a book, I'm allowing myself as the object to be impacted by an outside force. Every time I engage in a conversation, engage in a relationship, make a decision to learn a new skill, every time I do that, I'm allowing myself to be impacted by an outside force. There are people, by the way, we want to make sure, if I don't predetermine what the outside force is going to be, then the outside force might move me in a direction that I don't really desire to end up. So I might be the object at rest. But then again, I might be the outside force. Let's say my finances aren't what I'd like them to be. Then I have to become an outside force that impacts my finances in a way that causes them to move in a direction I desire them to move. Is what I'm saying making some sense? Okay, so I could either be the object at rest, or I could be the outside force that's moving the object that's at rest. Or, more than likely, I'm both in some way, shape, or form. But if I'm aware of the fact that I'm both, now I can do something about it. But if I'm unaware, then I think that, well, things just happen to me. Well, that's not actually true. Things don't just happen to you. They happen because of something that you have done or have not done. Not always, but oftentimes. And here's the difference. When things happen to you that were not caused by you, because everything that happened to you was not caused by you. So when things happen to you that were not caused by you, I call those, by we I mean me, myself, and I. We call those contributing factors. Because there are two types of factors in everybody's life. There are contributing factors and there are determining factors. Contributing factors are things that are outside of you that have nothing to do with you, but they affect you. Those are contributing factors. What are determining factors? Determining factors are all inside of us. Because determining factors are always, you know how one principle can overcome another principle as long as the second principle is more powerful than the first one? Like gravity is a real force, but it can be overcome by lift. Right? So principles can out-principle principles, right? And so if I understand that, then when I'm looking at my life and I'm thinking, okay, well, I'd like for my life to do better, then I can make sure that I apply a principle that's going to overpower another principle. So if the principle that's being applied to me, I'm on my way home, somebody runs into my car. If the principle that's applied to me is a contributing factor, if I conclude that that contributing factor is a determining factor, then I can feel like a victim, have an excuse, and blame someone other than me. Are y'all tracking? But if I perceive that the contributing factor is just a contributing factor and it's not greater than I am, then I can apply a determining factor, and I can use the determining factor that's inside of me to overcome the contributing factor that's outside of me. And by the way, is this good to know going into 2026? I think this is good going into any day, any week, any month, any year. Right? What does that mean? That means that decision, discipline, tenacity, and determination are going to be more impactful to my life than, well, this just happened to me. Is what I'm saying making sense? I was having a conversation yesterday. I looked at a building yesterday that I might buy, and both real estate agents were saying, well, you know, there's no way we can close by the end of the year. Well, there's always a way. Like, I don't believe that. Now, we may or may not close, but there's a way to close. Like if today was the last day of the year, there'd be a way to close. That's all that limiting, oh, this can't happen, that can't happen, that's not my game. I don't really care about any of that. Oh, everybody's on vacation. Everybody's not on vacation. We're working today, it's Sunday. Quit tripping. No, okay, all I'm saying is, like, I don't buy into the contributing factor story, right? Because I'm the determining factor. And the determining factors are inside of me. Their character, their faith, their belief, their intention, diligence, honesty. All of those things are inside of me. They make the difference. Does that make sense? Okay. So the next law is energy. Everything is energy. Energy is neither created nor destroyed. It just changes form. Well, most good things that come to us as the result of being a source of high energy, as opposed to a source of low energy. Now, positive thinking doesn't make everything work. It just makes everything work better than negative thinking. right? It don't make positive thinking don't fix everything, but it'll fix everything better than negative thinking will. And so the question I have to ask, am I a source of high energy or am I a source of low energy? And the reason I have to ask that question is because no high energy result will ever flow to a low energy source. That's why when people ask me how I'm doing, I never say, fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. I'm above the dirt. Well, if you had been below the dirt, I probably wouldn't have seen you. How you doing? I'm surviving. Not too bad. What does that mean? Like, okay, and maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. It's been a while. No, I'm just kidding. I've been wrong before. But I don't think that those low energy responses can attract anything good to you. So why would you have them? I mean, if you truly desire a better life, a better today than yesterday, a better tomorrow than today, if you really desire that, why would you apply fine, not too bad to anything? Okay, you are tracking. So I'm going to be a source of high energy, and I'm going to have a very deliberate intention about almost everything. Yep. Amen. I'm going to be very hyper deliberate about almost everything. Okay. And I'm going to apply my energy. Wait, when I show y'all how this works, when we apply them to these 6 things, you're going to be wrecked. This changed my life. This took me from a person who hated exercise to a person who loves it. I can't wait to work out. Like, one of the things I'm looking forward to most today is my workout. And I was a person who hated exercise. I was like, now I exercise because I need to. I know it's good for me, but I don't like it. I don't like it now. I don't even like it. I love it. I love working out. How do you go from loving working out? Like, I went from a person who only ate things because they taste good to eating only things that support life and they taste good. When I got back from my business trip with my wife for our 40th anniversary, and we were gone for a month, and I went from 181 pounds to 196 pounds. And we got back September 26th this year. I was 196 pounds. And I weighed myself this morning based on what I'm about to show you. And this morning, I'm 171.1 pounds. That's a relatively significant difference since September 26th. Now, it wasn't because I didn't have any, I was not like, I'm going to lose this weight. The thought to lose weight did not even occur to me. It just happened as a result of what I'm going to show you. That's all the people who want to lose weight leaning in, don't it? What's up? Okay, so the last one, entropy, anything left to itself tends to move more and more towards disorder. What does that mean? Okay, like, don't miss this. Get all of what I'm about to say. You don't have to intend to make your life worse in order for your life to get worse. You want to be like, you don't have to decide to get fat. I didn't say I'm gonna go on vacation for a month and get fat. I'm gonna gain 15 pounds in 30 days. I didn't say that. Required no intention whatsoever. None. Zero intention. Zero. I just ate everything they put in front of me. It was good. If it was good, I ate it. If it was good, okay. I got off my program. Okay. Are y'all tracking? Okay. Like, if somebody were to say to me, Myron, how do you become a millionaire in 2026? Apply what I'm about to show you. Here's how you're not going to become a millionaire in 2026. Neglect. Neglecting your financial perspective. Neglecting your financial practices. Neglecting financial principles will not make you a millionaire in 2026. But if you apply some principles, so if you're taking notes, these are like if you fully buy into the belief system that I'm about to share with you, it will change your life in every area. It'll make your family better. It'll make your finances better. It'll make your fitness better. It'll make everything better if you apply what I'm attempting to get across to you. And I think the reason I'm so intense is because what I'm sharing with you has impacted my life more greatly in the last year, or in my whole life, than maybe any other applied principle. I was even applying it in some areas before I knew I was applying it, okay? So, here's the belief. In order for any aspect of my life to get better, it requires energy and intention. High energy, deliberate intention is what's required to make any area of my life better. What's required? High energy, deliberate intention. What's required? High energy. Everybody, what's required? High energy and deliberate intention. That's required for my life to get better. In what area? Any area. Everybody tracking? You want to learn a new language? You want to learn to play a musical instrument? You want to have a better relationship? You want to find a spouse? You want to become wealthy? You want to get in shape? It requires high energy and deliberate intention. But in order for things to get worse, it requires neither energy nor intention. It only requires neglect. So, if you really get this, now I'm about to say it. Everybody ready? Say I'm ready. Okay, here it is. If you really get this, in order for your life to get worse, all you have to do is not apply energy and intention to making it better. Really let that marinate. If you are not intentionally using your energy to make your life better, by default, everybody tap yourself on the chest, say me. You are making your life worse. Wait, what? Now, are y'all with me? Are y'all picking up everything I'm putting down so far? Because now we're about to get into the juicy. So there are six areas. I'm going to do them in what appears to be the closest thing that I can find to the reverse order of importance. They're all important. Reverse order of importance doesn't mean some of these are unimportant and some of these are important. They're all important. They're almost all important. But some are more important than others. So we're gonna go in reverse order because I want to save the best for last. So, okay, it's doing that thing again. So here's what we're gonna do. Ta-da. Okay. So, reverse order. How do you make your finances better? This is not to say, how do I make my finances better? This is not to say that finances are not important. Just of all the things I'm going to talk about, they seem to me to be the lowest, even though it's maybe one of the least important of these very important things. It's one of the first things that you got to get figured out. Even though it's one of the least important things, it's one of the first things you got to. Why do I have to get this figured out first if it's one of the least important things? This is going to do what it's going to do. I'm fine with that. Just hang in there with me. Why is it so important to figure it out first? Because in the words of Jim Rohn, he said, money won't solve all your problems. But if you get the money problem solved fairly quickly, you can get to the rest of your problems in style. Okay? So I'm going to go with what Jim Rohn said. Okay, I'm going to go here again. And then I'm going to go canvas, and hopefully it'll be done. Nope. Just go back. Okay, there we go. Cool. So there we go. So finances. So when it comes to my finances, there are 3 things in my finances that I've got to apply energy and intention to. But here's the overarching ideology. If I am not intentionally using my energy to get richer today, did you hear what I just said? Yeah. Then I am unintentionally becoming poor today. I am not staying the same. So here's the overarching idea. Everything in my life is either getting better or it's getting worse. Nothing is staying the same. Well, I just want to be comfortable. Good luck with that. It's not going to work. And by the way, remember I showed you inertia first, right? An object at rest will remain at rest. Even an object at rest is not staying the same. It's just staying in the same place. Are y'all tracking? So just because an object at rest will remain at rest until unless it's acted upon by an outside force, that doesn't mean it's staying the same. It's just staying in the same place. And so what you've got to decide is, am I going to get richer today or am I going to get poorer today? And see, if I were younger and still working at my job and I wanted to figure out a way to create wealth for my family and my job wasn't going to provide that wealth, in my discretionary time that I have, that's not my employer-directed time, I would be figuring out things I could do to first and foremost increase my leverage, financial leverage, in the form of cash flow. I just did a video recently called Cash Flow Over Cash Grow. You can go back and watch that video. I think it was from like last Monday. Leverage cash flow. Every one of us, if we are not getting richer today, by improving our leveraged cash flow, then we are by default getting poorer today. Now, getting richer today doesn't necessarily mean that I sold something today. But if I didn't sell something today, I did something today that'll help me sell something today or tomorrow or the next day. If I didn't sell something today, I figured out something that I could sell today and maybe something I can sell every day. Right? Like anybody who's listening to me right now, like how can I make money without spending money? You could go become an affiliate of anybody who has an affiliate offer. Promote an affiliate offer every day. Like you could send out 10 inbox messages to friends or people that you know on the internet or people who've commented on your posts and say, hey, I took this challenge called the Make More Offers Challenge, and if you're an affiliate of mine, you can promote the Make More Offers Challenge, and every time somebody buys a VIP ticket, I pay you $148.50. And it doesn't have to be my offer. I'm not trying to get you to promote my offers, but you have to have somebody's. And so if you're like promote my offers, then it's mmocAffiliates.com. You fill out the affiliate application, and then you can get paid. Like, we're going to send out the money every month, whether you're getting some of it or not. Is what I'm saying making sense? Okay. So I'm going to increase my leverage cash flow today. So every day of my life, I'm thinking about what kind of supporting offers can I create that fit into my current offer ecosystem. I'm not going to create some new thing, so I've got all these things to juggle. I realize, I'm aware of the fact that every time a solution is created, that solution creates 10 new problems. So I have to be astute enough to figure out what the 10 new problems are, and then figure out how to solve one of those, and then just make offers on that. Right? So A, leverage. Okay? B, lifestyle. So what does lifestyle look like in my finances? It looks like, what am I building today that I may not be getting paid for today, but that will eventually pay me from now on so that I can have lifestyle? See, my lifestyle can be supported by my ongoing monthly recurring revenue sources. Because monthly recurring revenue for us is over $250,000 a month before I get out of bed. If you got over $250,000 a month coming in before you get out of bed, guess what that means? That means if you don't want to, you don't have to get out of bed. Okay, but I do want to. I do want to. But what it does is it gives me lifestyle choices. Because now I'm not making choices based on whether or not I can afford it. I'm just making choices based on whether or not it's a good choice. Right? And so what if all of your choices could be choices that you made because they were the choices that you desired to make, instead of choices that you felt like you had to make because that's all your money would allow you to make? See, people love to quote that no man can serve two masters, right? You will love one and hate the other, or hold to one and despise the other, but nobody ever slows down enough to ask, what is a master? What is a master? A master is someone that owns you and controls your decision-making. Well, here's what I found out. Money was much more of a master for me when I didn't have any, because it told me what I could and could not do. Money told me that I couldn't go to close relatives' funerals in the past because I didn't have the money. So money was my master when I didn't have any. Money is no longer a master. I am now money's master. It does what I tell it to do. I don't do what it tells me to do because it can't tell me to do nothing. So lifestyle can be created by creating monthly recurring revenue sources. By the way, you could do that by selling affiliate offers to software as a service. There's this one software as a service. They pay me, I don't know, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month because of people that I've referred to use their software. And so they just deposit money into my account every month, twice a month. I'm like, okay, cool, right? So that's lifestyle. And then, so this is talking about like business active cash flow. This is talking about business more passive or deferred cash flow. And then the last one, when it comes to finances, is legacy. Legacy, what's legacy? Legacy is the wealth that I'm creating for my descendants. It's the money that I'm going to use to pay for the house for my children when they get married. It's the money that I'm going to use to give to my grandchildren so that none of my children, none of my descendants ever have to start from scratch. You do realize that's God's original design for families, is that no new generation ever starts from scratch. So, legacy. What am I investing into today that will perpetuate the family's wealth instead of decimating the family's wealth? Because I'm investing in something, while even though cash flow is over cash grow, and cash flow is more important than cash accumulation is still important, not for me. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon the earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt and thieves break through and steal. I'm not laying up wealth for myself on earth. I'm laying up wealth for my children, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, my great-great-great. And no, I'm not going to give it to a nonprofit organization that I know nothing about so that they can give it to the people to the causes they think are important. I'm going to give it to the causes that God told me are important, my descendants. Why? I believe it's the right thing to do. Okay, so everybody got it. Finances. Either I'm getting richer today or I'm getting poorer today. So the question I've got to ask and answer for myself is, do I desire to get richer today or do I desire to get poorer today? So that's finances. Number 2 is friendships. It is not good for a man to be alone. It is not good for man to be alone. Yes, man needs a wife. That's not all it's talking about. People need people. I don't like people. Doesn't matter if you like them or not, you still need them. People drain my battery. Great, they drain your battery. They can make sure, since they drain your battery, make sure that you are vested in connecting with people because it will make you better. And there's a very good possibility that it'll make you richer as well. People need people. Do you realize This is how much people need people. If you were the only person on earth and you owned everything, you'd be the richest person who's frustrated that ever existed. Because you'd go to the gas station and there'd be nobody there to pump the gas. So you say, I can pump it myself, except there's nobody at the electric company to turn on the electric. So now you got to go to the electric company and turn on electric. But then again, do you even know how to do that? So now you're stuck like chucking a pickup truck, riding a bicycle all over town, even though you own all the cars. Why? Because there's nobody else around. See, your life is supported by millions of people that you will never meet. And I don't like people. Like them or not, you need them. Why? Because God set it up that way. So, when it comes to friendships, in order of priority, in my opinion, long-time friendships. I'm just going to put LT. Long-time friendships. Like, make sure you do things to maintain those long-time. I've got friends I've had since I've got people in my life that I've been friends with since I was a teenager. There are people in my life that I've been friends with since I was in my 20s. There are people in my life that I've been friends with since I was in my 30s. And we're still connected. And I reach out to these people. Why? Because it requires energy and intention to maintain good relationships over a long period of time. Is what I'm saying making sense? Yes. Okay. Long time. Okay. And then what I call developing relationships. They're not super long, but maybe they're a few months old, maybe they're a few years old, maybe they're a decade old. They're developing relationships. And these are relationships that I'm figuring out how I can serve these people more and engage with these people more. Beware of him who has no old friends. There is a reason for that. Beware even more of he or she who has no friends, because there's a reason for that. Okay, so developing friends. Developing friends is important because, like, I have my children. I love talking to my children. That's not enough. I love talking to my wife. That's not enough. I love talking to my old friends. That's not enough. Why? Because people need people. People don't just need a person. All I need is my person. No. You may be deceived into thinking that all you need is your person, but I'm telling you that God says you need people. Yeah. And he ain't gonna be right about heaven and wrong about that. Okay. And then new friends. New friends go into environments with the high energy, intentional, deliberate intention to discover and develop new friendships. Why? Because it makes you a better person. I don't need any more friends, but you need to be a friend to more people, whether you need new friends or not. Because sometimes you need to be a friend because they need a friend, not because you need a friend. Well, I wish I had. Okay, y'all are tracking. So friendships. So either my long-term developing and new friendships are getting better today, or they're getting worse. And by friendship, all of my relationships. It's getting better, it's getting worse. This week, it's getting better, it's getting worse. This month, it's getting better, it's getting worse. This year, it's getting better and getting worse. Okay. I got one for you. Number 3, in the arena of our focus. Now, when I say focus, what I'm talking about is learning new things and developing new skills in the area of my focus. What am I focused on? Do you realize if you're not focused on learning something new, you are not only not getting smarter, you're actually getting dumber because memories erode. Entropy applies to memories. Wow. So I have to intentionally use my energy to be becoming better in the areas of my focus, in my learning. I've got to be, one, discovering new things I don't know. Like I've got to be discovering age-old principles. They've been here for thousands of years, but I haven't uncovered them yet. Because if I'm not discovering new principles, this is why I believe it's important, and I'm not going to give everybody else objective, but I believe everybody would benefit. Everybody under the sound of my voice right now, whether you're in the YouTube sphere or in this room, your life would be better if you'd learn another language and learn to play a musical instrument, both of those. And you could jump on both of those journeys in 2024. Why? Because it'll make everything else you have to do better. Because it will improve your cognitive ability by learning a language and learning a musical instrument. So here's the question. So every time you get ready to, am I going to read this book or am I going to go watch TV? Okay, there's nothing wrong with watching TV if you're not broke. If you're broke and you're watching TV now, we got a problem. If you're doom scrolling and you're broke, another problem. Why? Because you can't afford it. It's costing you too much. But do I want to get smarter today or do I want to get dumber today? Because if I'm not learning something new, I'm losing something old. So which is it going to be? Well, for me, it's going to be, I'm going to learn something new today. I am going to learn something new today. Why? Because today is the day. Today is the day to learn something new. And I'm not going to be dumber tomorrow. I'm going to learn something new today or be dumber tomorrow. I'm not going to be dumber tomorrow. We ain't going backwards. We're not here to create negative momentum. Okay, number 2. So I'm discovering new principles, but I'm developing new skills. I'm developing myself to apply these new things that I'm learning, and I'm working on them, and I'm creating new neural pathways in my mind and in my body so that I can do things today that felt impossible yesterday, so when I face something that looks impossible tomorrow, I'll know that it's not impossible, but instead that it's I'm possible. Why? Because I've applied myself to developing myself in applying the principles that I've discovered. And yes, this sounds like work. It is work. That's the point. It is work. And then, once I discover these new principles and I develop these new principles, then I deploy myself in the use of these new principles that with these new skills that I've developed. Every time you have a decision to make, here's the question. Am I willing to get better? Or am I willing to get better, or am I going to settle for getting worse? Because that's really what it boils down to every time. This is going to make sense to you when I get to the fitness part. Watch. So, family. Let's talk about family. You want your family to get better? Which one is this? Family is 4. You want your family to get better? By the way, you want your family to get better? Here's what it's going to require. Energy and intention. Your family's not going to get better just because you want it to. So, you want your family to get better? It's going to start with your spouse. So, if you don't have a spouse, when you get one, prepare yourself for the one you're going to get. Okay? You don't have a spouse. Prepare yourself for the one you're going to get. Now, if you are not every day intentionally making your relationship with your spouse better, it is by default getting worse. Every day in your relationship with your spouse, you're getting closer to staying together for life or closer to divorce. You know how much divorces cost, right? Half. Okay. Okay, I just didn't want anybody to miss that. Okay. So, spouse, that's first. B, Children, spouse comes before children. Spouse comes before grandchildren. Spouse comes before siblings. Spouse comes before parents. Spouse. Everybody got it? Don't allow the family that you were born into mistreat the family you were betrothed into. And vice versa. Don't let the family that you're betrothed into mistreat the family. You know why? Here's one of the reasons I feel really hyper blessed. I've got 6 brothers, and all my brothers and I are close. I have never one time, I've been married for 40 years, never one time in my life that I can remember, ever, have any of my brothers ever disrespected, talked down to, or treated my wife badly, ever. My parents never did that, ever, not once. Now, if they had done it, I wouldn't set, we ain't doing it like that. But it's never happened. I feel extremely blessed. Okay, children. And then everything else is extended. Extended. I'll bend over backwards for my extended family to a point, as long as it doesn't negatively impact what I'm doing with my children or my spouse. I'll bend over backwards for my extended family. Brothers, cousins, aunts, uncles, parents, blah, 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 as long as it's not going to negatively impact my spouse and my children. It's called priorities. Everybody tracking? Okay, cool. Number 5, which I believe is your second most important-ish. You can prioritize these in whatever order you want to for you. Okay, number 5, fitness. Now, I believe one of the biggest problems that people have when it comes to fitness, and when I say fitness, I'm talking about nutrition, I'm talking about wellness, I'm talking about all of these things. One of the biggest problems that people have in the arena of fitness is they think fitness only means being a certain weight. Your body knows how much it wants to weigh. And if you will make good health choices, it will weigh that amount. So, here's what I discovered. And this is why I love exercise now. You ready? I woke up one day and I realized, based on this thing I'm sharing with y'all right now, I am either going to get stronger today or I'm going to get weaker today. And I don't have to decide to get weaker. I just have to not decide to get stronger. And every day I decide not to get stronger is a day that I decided by default to get weaker. Now, when it comes to my fitness, the first thing I'm going to talk about is the most important in this category. And it is not exercise. That's number 2. The first thing is what you put in your mouth. Nutrition. If you drink more coffee than water, you've got a problem. If you drink more tea than water, you've got a problem. If you drink more soda than water, you've got a problem. You've got a problem because you are by default deciding to make yourself weaker because you did not decide to make yourself stronger. You've decided to make yourself sicker because you did not decide to make yourself more healthy. And I decided, see, people believe that health and wellness is predetermined by age. That's such a scam. I wish that was the only scam in the whole medical industrial complex, but it's just one of the many. I'm hot. I read this book called The Glucose Revolution. Has anybody read it? The Glucose Revolution? A couple of you. I read this book called The Glucose Revolution, and it made me realize the number one, or one of the number one contributing factors to almost all disease processes is the number of glucose spikes you have in a day. The number of glucose spikes you have in a day, what does that mean? How many times your blood sugar elevates and then gets cranked back down? It causes hardening of the arteries, which leads to high blood pressure, which leads to heart disease. High blood pressure is the number one cause of death and disability in the United States. And it's almost always something your body can fix if you treat your body right. And I just said, I'm done with like, every time I get ready to eat something, I look at something, like we had a birthday party for my brother on the 26th, because his birthday is 26th, and we were at my house. And he's cutting the cake and ice cream. He says, "You want cake and ice cream?" That doesn't even look appealing to me. I'm not even interested in it. It's not like, oh man, I'm so tempted to eat that, but I'm going to make myself not. No. That's what my body's going to have to do to recover from that. It's not worth it to me. That 5 minutes of satisfying my taste buds is not worth how much weaker that's going to make me, to me. And so it's every time I look at something, is it going to make me better? Is it going to make me worse? Is it going to make me stronger? Is it going to make me weaker? When I get ready to exercise, in my subconscious mind, my Esau in me, my old nature, that wants me to say, no, don't do that, bro. Yeah, you can work out tomorrow. Don't work out tomorrow. You can work out tomorrow. I'm working out today. Why? Because I'm either getting stronger or I'm getting weaker. And people think you have to get weaker when you get older, and they think you have to get, I'm overweight because of my age. No, you're overweight because of your glucose spikes and because of the fact your nutrition is off. You eat more food from the hand of man than you do from the hand of God. You eat more food out of a package than you do out of the ground. That's real. Food has more to do, food and foodstuffs have more to do with how you feel than exercise. They're both important. Nutrition without fitness is inefficient. Did y'all hear me? Nutrition without fitness is inefficient. Fitness without nutrition is dangerous. What does that mean? If you're stressing out your body physically by doing a lot of exercise, but you're not putting in things that support life, you are literally endangering yourself, which is why a lot of high-level athletes drop dead of a heart attack, because they were focused on the fitness but not on the nutrition. I got a doctor in the room. Am I exaggerating, Doc? Am I on point? True. I want to make sure I ain't just making stuff up now. So when it comes to fitness, number one is nutrition. Number two is movement. Movement is medicine. Motion is lotion. Don't forget that. I need to eat more food from the hand of God, less food from the hand of man, and move my body more. More and more and more. If I move my body in ways and consistently enough and intensely enough to where it doesn't feel good physically until I'm done. In fact, it feels kind of bad. That's just the feeling, it'll go away. Because I learned a long time ago that there are two types of satisfaction. There's the satisfaction of accomplishment and the satisfaction of indulgence. The satisfaction of accomplishment lasts a lifetime. The satisfaction of indulgence usually lasts for a fleeting moment. And so, fitness, movement. I've seen 90-year-old women doing muscle-ups on the internet. So you're not going to tell me that you're weak because you're old and get me to buy it. I'm not buying it. You're weak because you're weak. You're weak because you decided too many days in a row not to make yourself stronger. Now, here's the question for you. Is today going to be another one of those days, or is today going to be a new day? We're going to do it a new way. I'm going to decide to get stronger today because I know if I don't, I've already decided by default to get weaker. I'm going to decide to drink half my body weight in ounces of water today and hyperhydrate as part of my nutrition, even if it means I don't get to drink anything else. Y'all are tracking. Okay. So, lastly, rest. You have to give your body time to recover. Now, I'm 64 years of age, and maybe that has something to do with it. Or maybe I just like feeling rested. But I am usually in bed by 9 o'clock, sometimes 8:30. Sometimes I'm in bed by 8:15. Why? Because I like waking up in the morning feeling rested. And my alarm clock goes off at 5 o'clock whether I want it to or not. So when I wake up, I'm going to have at least 7 or 8 hours of sleep by the time I wake up. See, 9 to 5, and I don't always fall asleep at 9, but I'm usually in bed by 9. I have 7 or 8 hours of sleep. And then there's only one day of the week I don't work out. I don't work out on Saturdays. I just rest. Why? God had this really good idea at the beginning. He instituted it. God did not rest because he needed rest. God rested because he was giving us an example and he knew we needed rest. And I'm telling you, if you will get your fitness down to, I'm deciding that I'm going to get stronger by decision or weaker by default, and today is not a day to get weaker. So now I look forward to exercise. Why? Because I know the alternative is being a weaker version of myself. And now it requires more energy to overcome the new weakness that I installed yesterday if I didn't work out today. Amen. And the only day that's not applied is rest day. Because now on a rest day, which is a Saturday for me, I'm not getting weaker. I'm just getting stronger. I'm recovering, and my body's just putting together all the things we've built throughout the week. And so now I look forward to working out. In fact, I might work out twice today. Why? Because I can get stronger. I can get twice as close. Wow, in one day. Who knew? It's a thing. Okay. So, here's what I'm saying. I don't skip now, unless I'm not feeling well. If I'm flu symptoms, tired or something like that, then I don't do it. But even if I'm a little sore, a little achy, we working out. Yeah, be sore, be achy. Why? Because I did a video on this. I don't remember what it was called, but I did a video on this. But I discovered a principle because in the military they have this phrase. In the military they have this phrase that pain is weakness leaving the body. That's only kind of a half truth. Depends on what kind of pain. See, what I realized, there are two different kinds of pain. There's short-term, intentional, systematic pain. And when you're applying short-term, intentional, systematic pain to your body, that's weakness leaving your body. But if you refuse to apply short-term, systematic, intentional pain by design, then by default, long-term, unintentional, systemic pain is going to invade your body. Is what I'm saying making sense? And so, I was supposed to tell you something in the finances, but I forgot. But I'll come back to it. So, nutrition, movement, and rest. The most important area that you've got to decide every day, is it going to get better, is it going to get worse, is your faith. Am I going to saturate myself with Scripture today? Is today going to be a day that's filled with Scripture and I am becoming more like God and having more of the mind of God because His Word is taking up more space in my mind? Is today going to be a day of Scriptures? Is today going to be a day of supplication where I'm praying for the things that I need in my life and for the people that I care about in my life? Is today going to be a day of supplication? Because if it's not, getting further and further away from the will of God, because that's the whole purpose of prayer, is to get me in tune with Him, not to get Him in tune with me. And then lastly, is today going to be a day where I share my faith with somebody other than me? Like, am I going to share my faith with somebody who believes? Am I going to share my faith today with somebody who doesn't believe? Now, if you will apply this, I am intentionally getting better or by default getting worse to every aspect of your life, it's impossible for your life not to get better. How cool is that? Now, when I talked about focus, I said when I talked about focus, discovering, learning, what do I think are the three most important areas? And I'm going to talk a lot about this in 2026. What are the three most important areas for us to focus on for making our future better financially, et cetera, et cetera? I believe that focusing on learning more about cryptocurrency, because we're moving in that direction, and yes, I believe that it will be used in the last days during the Great Tribulation. All that, yeah, I do. But I still think you need to understand it. Cryptocurrency, artificial intelligence, and content. Those are some things that if I were you, even though I'm not you, but if I were you, I'd lean into. I've already started leaning into all of those. I would recommend highly that you lean into those as